going on, everyone? Welcome to Business Master Show. I'm Sherlock, founder of Sketch Pro Studios and your host at the show. This is the show with business idols and their strategies, and today we are honored to be hosting Jackie Simmons. Jackie Simmons is the founder of Make It a Great Day Movement. She's a TEDx speaker. She is author of and co-author of multiple Amazon bestsellers, and in my eyes, a true humanitarian. Well, Jackie Simmons, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here, Sherlock.
Really nice to have you here. So I don't mean to be taking much of your time, so let's get started with my questions. First, why don't you get started by telling our audience who you are and what you do?
I'm an author, a speaker, a radio show host. Most importantly, though, I'm the mother of a teen suicide attempt survivor and the founder of the Teen Suicide Prevention Society. So I wear two hats. I have a business. I teach entrepreneurial women how to sell with confidence and ease. And I have a nonprofit, which is all about the Make It a Great Day movement. And so those two are what keep me busy. And that's how people find me, except when I'm on the radio.
So let's get started. But like I said, you are wearing two hats, so I will try and attend as much as possible to both. Let's get started with your business side. And what is your role in your business? What services does your business provide? And when did you start with this?
Oh boy, there's a mouthful. Okay, so if I do those in reverse order, I actually started in business as a single mom, struggling to keep a roof over my kid's head. I had 3 children. My daughters were great. My oldest one had just started kindergarten, so 5, 3, and 1. And at the end of the week, working a job in sales, which I actually sucked at, I could either pay the rent or I could pay the daycare. I couldn't pay both. So I got really lucky. One of my friends suggested I look at a home-based business taking care of kids in my own home. So I started a home-based business, and I knew nothing about business. I mean, I knew nothing about business. I didn't know networking. I didn't know referrals. I didn't know any of the things. I knew nothing about sales. What I did know is that I was a registered certified family daycare and I had openings. So all I did was walk my kids to the bus stop and tell everybody at the bus stop that I was, had openings in my daycare. Did they know someone? Now I know that's called networking. That's called asking for referrals. That has names in the business world. But each time I went into the business world, my results in sales were not stellar until I figured out that what was in the way was that I was afraid to let people get to know me. So truly an elephant in the room. And by the time that my kids were in high school and I closed my daycare and had gone back to work out in sales, the best thing I sold was selling myself on the fact that we were normal, that our family was okay, that life was predictable. And then my daughter tried to kill herself. And all of those illusions went out the window. We did all the things you do, and I managed to stay busy. She got professional help, and I was grateful, and I stayed busy. And along the way, I figured out how to become successful, even though I kept self-sabotaging and didn't know why. Now I know. It's because we took all of that history and put it into a closet and didn't talk about it for 20 years. And when my daughter broke the silence, that launched the mission and it launched my career in a whole different way, because all of a sudden I was no longer afraid to be seen. It's why this journey to be seen and now to be heard and to make a difference has been a journey of many, many years for me. So I wrote books on the parts of the journey I had completed. My first book was Your Path from Secret to Success, because I had learned how to master networking. I had learned how to put together marketing messages. I had learned how to master that part of business that everyone has to start with. Who's your target market? What problem do you solve? it was only after my daughter broke the silence and we launched the mission that I could write what's probably the best book I've ever written, which is Your Path from Beating Yourself Up to Beating Your Own Drum. And we're using that in the Make It a Great Day movement. And so we'll talk about that in a minute, but this is how I got started in business. And I teach sales because I sucked at it for a really long time. And I know why that most people do. And it's because we don't like to make other people uncomfortable. So the only way that people get motivated is if they have a problem that's painful enough that they're willing to pay to get it solved. We don't like to do that. We don't like to have uncomfortable conversations. We don't like to take people to their pain and leave them in it long enough for them to actually be motivated to pay to get out of it. And yet, if we don't do that for them, we can't help them. And so sales starts first with selling yourself on the fact that you can be uncomfortable in the service of your clients.
Absolutely. So it's very, first, I actually knew the story that you just told us. First, thank you for sharing that with our audience as well. But it is both heartbreaking and mesmerizing at the same time, because heartbreaking, well, obviously why I don't need to explain that, but mesmerizing and inspiring of how you actually, that helps you redefine how yourself and other people look at the world, which is completely true. So my next question is going to be one question, but about both sections. So first, on the sales side of your business, what is, if we disregard the suicide section of the story for a sec, just in terms of sales, what was the biggest obstacle? What was the biggest problem that you had to overcome to become a good salesperson? Because you said you sucked at it.
Oh, absolutely. Because I thought that it was about me. I sucked at sales because I thought that it was based on my credentials and on my program and on my. And I was wrong. Sales is not about me. So for anybody listening, let me give you the short version of how to be more successful. It's not about you. It's about them. And it's not even about their problem. People don't even buy the solution to a problem. What they buy is the vision of what their life will be like after working with you. That's what they're buying. And if you can just do what I did and move out of your own way a little bit and have your conversations be about what vision they want to hold for themselves, whether it's in their business or in their personal life, depending on what you offer. But just know that's what they're buying. They're not buying your credentials.
I'm not sure. I can't recall. I'm not sure exactly, but do you have a course about this, or do you have a service in this regards?
I teach Ultimate Sales Formula. That's my online course. I teach it 3 times a year. And I also have How to Succeed in the Midst of Self-Sabotage, which is probably the course I am the most qualified to teach. So both of those courses are up and running, and they're easy to access, but not so easy to find, because I like to have conversations with people before they come into one of my courses. So that's I'm still keeping it a secret. Ta-da. No, I'm not keeping me a secret, or what offer, or what transparency, what vision people can have. I just don't let people go shop for it on their own. So we have conversations instead.
Absolutely. And then the second question would be the same thing, but in regards to your humanitarian movement, the anti-suicide movement. I'm sure that it's, first, what you are doing is, in my eyes, at the same level as Mother Teresa, honestly. But I've never told you this.
No.
in my heart, you're right up there. But I'm sure that, again, nothing comes easy. So let's use the same question for this side of the story. What's the biggest obstacle that you had to overcome spreading the message, telling people that they need to speak up and need to break their shell?
First, I had to decide that I was the right person for the job. The one topic I never thought I would talk about. is suicide. For two reasons. One, because there's no badge of honor being the mother of a teen suicide attempt survivor. The two-step in the brain is, why did they do it and what did I do wrong? You know, it's the normal, natural reaction of a parent. And getting past that to understanding that the attempt is because it seems like the best idea at the time to them. And the real question is, what could cause suicide-inducing pain? And that was the question I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to know the answer to it, Sherlock. What could cause my daughter so much pain that dying seemed like the best idea at the time? Not just once, but multiple times. I had to learn. I mean, there are 6 key indicators that someone in your life might be at risk for suicide. And it's simply if someone in your family, the teen or even not the teen, has a disability, something about them that makes them different. That puts them at risk. That's 1. 2 is if someone in your family is dealing with a major illness or chronic pain. That's 2. 3 is if someone in your family has an addiction of any kind. You know, it doesn't have to be drugs, alcohol, or sex. It could also be gaming. You know, it could be gambling. It could be screen time. I mean, there's so many things we can be addicted to. Any one of those. The 4th one is if someone in your family has ongoing financial struggles. The worry about money is a constant worry about money, chronic worry. This, especially financial, puts you into a higher risk. The 5th one is if you or someone in your family has been or is being bullied or abused. And that includes being pressured to perform in areas you're not gifted in. And the last one, if you know someone who's died, if you know someone who's taken their own life, that puts you in a higher risk. And you can see the problem. The problem is that most families have one or more of these indicators. Thanks to media and celebrity suicides, we all know a celebrity chef, a talented singer, a gifted comedian. Yeah, we're all at risk. And we don't know it because we're too busy. So I did a webinar. It's up at mindsetseminars.com to help people understand the indicators and how to mitigate them. There's a simple 6 steps that anyone can take that will reduce the risk of suicide for the person you're talking to. And so even if you're talking to yourself, it works. And that's what we're doing. We started out from this place of, I don't want to talk about it. And actually, this is how I ended up being asked to speak about this on a TEDx stage. And my TEDx talk starts with, I don't want to talk about it. I didn't want to talk about it 24 years ago when my daughter first tried to kill herself. And I don't want to talk about it now, but I must. I must be willing to break the silence and start this conversation with you, because the silence is killing us. And Sherlock, what pushed me over the edge and said, yes, I will do this, was understanding that over 3,000 teenagers attempt to take their own lives every day. And that's just in the US, just teens, and just the ones that don't die. And once I understood how big the problem was, oh, and by the way, these numbers are pre-COVID, before isolation, before the pressure cooker, before we started this worldwide stress test, as Taryn calls it. Now the numbers are going up. So I don't get a chance to wait to do this. It has to be now. We just partnered with a mental health assessment company so we can offer free assessments for people. They can actually find out their numbers of risk for depression and anxiety. And so that just launched. And I am super, super excited because I love talking in both of my hats. I love talking about the elephant in the room, And so we created emotionalelephants.com, where people can access these free and anonymous tools for their mental health. And so now we have that piece in place along with the other tools. And we're just on a mission. We want everyone to become a better advocate for themselves so that they can then become a better advocate for other people, an advocate for living, Sherlock. We want everyone to become an advocate for living and an advocate for staying.
And that is why I called you Mother Teresa. Like, Jackie, I really appreciate your insight. I really appreciate your wisdom, and I really appreciate your time. Before I bring it to an end, tell us, Jackie Simmons, what's happening in your life now? What do you have baking in the oven? What's going to come out in the next 6 months to a year?
In the next 6 months to a year. Okay, what's happening right now is I have my own radio show, and it is at betterlivingradio.com. Monday through Thursday. Yeah, there's a link. Monday through Thursday, 10 a.m. Eastern time. And so that's super cool. What's coming next is the messenger program. So people become advocates for themselves and for others. And some of them are going to want to be able to take their message for their business or the message of the Make It a Great Day movement. And so we're launching the messenger program. And that's going to be a year-long program where people actually get to get up, speak up, give out their messages, master the technology. We'll be walking through all of the different things that I use to deliver both webinars and to host meetings online. And I do a 4-day online summit. And so I've been doing this tech, and now I'm going to be teaching the tech along with the messaging and giving support to people who just deep down in their core want to make a difference. And so that's what we're doing, is we're creating the program for messengers, creating a community of messengers. Whether it's your difference with your business or your service, or whether you want to be part of the Make It a Great Day movement, we're here to support you. And that's what I'm super excited about, is that's what we're building out. That's what's coming, Shirley.
Perfect. Jackie, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. Thanks a million. Best of luck with all of your venture. Everyone, I usually say, if you want to be a good salesperson, this is the person to follow. But now I want to add something to that. If you want to be a good human, if you know someone who is struggling with suicide in any shape, or actually if you know anybody struggling with anything, Jackie's the person to go to. Jackie Simmons, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sherlock.